will allow me this because you allowed him to speak about DepEd, which is not related to OVP.
But can you appraise us in the history of the Congress of the Philippines during budget briefings and deliberations? Has the Committee on Appropriations ever detained any resource person?
Representative Raul Manuel with the NPA units in Southern Mindanao alleging that
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, kaya naman natin to ginagawa dahil bilang mga public officials, responsibilidad po natin ito sa taong bayan na nanonood po sa atin kung paano natin ginagastos ang pera ng taong bayan, Madam Chair. So, as to my question, since the Vice President also served as DepEd Secretary, in fact, wala po siyang separate basic salary nung siya ay DepEd Secretary, kaya actually intertwined din, no? Tumatagos yung role niya as VP and as DepEd Secretary. So, I have questions, Madam Chair, dun sa confidential funds for 2023 ng Department of Education, and if the resource person would want to answer, andyan naman po yung opportunity na binubukas sa kanya ng Kamara. So, Madam Chair, can we confirm from the Vice President na nag-submit ng accomplishment report sa paggamit ng DepEd confidential funds for 2023 sa Senate President at sa Speaker of the House?
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, the Office of the Vice President and the Department of Education have separate mandates. The roles of the Vice President and the Secretary of Education are not intertwined. And Madam Chair, I cannot speak for the Department of Education as I am not the Secretary anymore. Again, Madam Chair, hindi pala DepEd pala ito, no? O sige, tanong mo si DepEd yan.
Honorable Manuel.
Madam Chair, iba na po ang DepEd Secretary natin ngayon na hindi naman nag-request ng confidential fund. Ang nag-request po noon as the DepEd Secretary ay ang Vice President. And Madam Chair, in all agencies, lagi ini-invoke national security, pag-target din sa mga suspected na mga grupo. So, yung ganong tinake on na mandato, Madam Chair, kahit originally wala naman talaga yun sa OVP tsaka DepEd, tinake on ng resource person. Kaya ngayon, hindi dapat iwasan na sagutin din yun given ang tinake on na tasks ng resource person. Kasi Madam Chair, sige kung hindi po niya sasagutin, sa accomplishment report kasi for the first quarter of 2023, nabanggit po doon na yung confidential funds ng DepEd ginamit sa counter-insurgency program, prevention of recruitment by rebel and leftist groups among students and teachers. Meron din, Madam Chair, anti-terrorism programs, including the gathering of necessary information to implement peace and order within DepEd. Pareho din ang actual outcome tsaka ang kinlaim na accomplishments, Madam Chair, for second quarter and third quarter of 2023. So, gusto nating present din sa committee na ito, Madam Chair, na sa mga dokumento na sinubmit din ng Commission on Audit, part po ng certification sa paggamit ng DepEd Confidential Fund ay galing sa mga military units. And Madam Chair, we have copies of those documents. Ang DepEd use of confidential funds in partnership with the 1st Infantry Division of Zamboanga del Sur, 5th Infantry Division of Isabela, 7th Infantry Division of Nueva Ecija, 9th Infantry Division of Camarines Sur. At ang mga activities nila, Madam Chair, ay mga youth leadership summits, yun po yung tawag nila doon, at mga information education campaigns. Now, can we present yung slide, Madam Chair? May pinipare po tayo as a sample sa ano yung mga pinapamahagi ng mga pamphlets sa ganitong mga di umano'y Youth Leadership Summit tsaka Information Education Campaign. Ayun, Madam Chair, ang sabi po dyan, kapag nagsuot ka lang ng flag na may nakasulat na Serve the People, di ba, Madam Chair, napakagandang pakinggan, pero para po sa DepEd, Madam Chair, ang mga nagsusuot daw ng ganon, dapat i-report sa DepEd. At bahagi po ng paggamit nila ng confidential fund ay pagpapakalat ng ganitong napaka-malicious na kaisipan, Madam Chair. And given given that we already have a Supreme Court ruling na nagsasabing nakakapahamak sa buhay na ating mga bata, mga kabataan, ang ganitong mga tipo ng propaganda, Madam Chair, it seems na para pala sa DepEd, accomplishment ang pagpapahamak ng buhay ng mga estudyante at ng mga teacher. In fact, under the now resigned DepEd Secretary, they violated their own order, Madam Chair. They have a Department Order number 32, Series of 2019. Ang sabi doon, Madam Chair, ay bawal, and I quote, schools shall not be utilized for military purposes. This includes the conduct of anti-insurgency information activities or such other related uses that may endanger the lives of learners and school personnel. So, Madam Chair, lumala yung education crisis, pero
30 seconds.
yun pa ang naging paggamit ng DepEd confidential funds, Madam Chair. Next slide, Madam Chair, so we can wrap up. Ganito yung breakdown ng paggamit ng DepEd confidential funds, Madam Chair. Kung mapapansin, gumamit lang for first, second, and third quarter. Tapos, Madam Chair, bawat quarter, pare-pareho yung amounts ng paggamit, 37.5 million pesos. And this is confirmed by the audit observation memo ng COA, Madam Chair. And, Madam Chair, we take note, June, July, which falls in the second and third quarter, wala pong pasok sa mga paaralan. So, yung question natin, ano yung ginawa ng DepEd at bakit magkakapareho yung rates ng paggamit ng confidential funds. So, ang isa sa makikita natin dito, Madam Chair, we can't deny no, na it seems ay kaduda-duda yung ganong pinepresent ng DepEd na paggamit ng confidential funds. Yun na lang, Madam Chair. Salamat.
Madam Vice President.
Yes. Madam Chair, the invitation for this budget hearing was the budget proposal of fiscal year 2025 of the Office of the Vice President. I request that the questions, Madam Chair, be related to the subject of the budget hearing, which is the OVP 2025 budget proposal. And, Madam Chair, you will allow me this because you allowed him to speak about DepEd, which is not related to OVP. According to Kate and Ida, the former secretary of the CPP-NPA's Sub-Regional Committee 5, revealing concerning associations of Representative Raul Manuel with the NPA units in Southern Mindanao, alleging that he visited
Madam Chair, point of order.
Sitio Bolo, Barangay Daguhoy, Talingot, Davao del Norte in 2017. And his alleged connections with the CPP-NPA coupled with the recruitment activities involving Kabataan Party List. Rendell, who was missing for 11 months and
Madam
came
Chair,
home
point of
in a
order, Madam
coffin.
Chair.
And came home in a coffin.
Yung sinasabi po ng ating Vice President ay allege. So, ang ibig sabihin niyan, marites or galing yan sa chismis.
Okay, so,
hindi natin
galing po
pwede,
ito sa
Madam Chair,
NPA.
ang Office of the Vice President.
Let Chair rule. So, yes, we will take note of the request of our Madam Vice President. Let's stick to our topic. Okay, so with that, we shall proceed to our next member. From the majority, we have our Deputy Majority Leader, the Honorable Leandro Bonilla.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and a pleasant good evening to our Honorable Vice President. Yeah. Ma'am, you have actually commendable programs, the Medical Assistance Program, Educational Assistance, Burial Assistance, Magnegosyo Taday, but I believe it's a nationwide coverage. So, may we know how our constituents can apply for this program?
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
So, Madam Chair, if the Honorable Vice President will agree, meron po ba tayong mga areas kung saan pwedeng mag-apply? Let's say, if we are from the Visayas, where can our constituents apply for this kind of program and the possibility of having the requirements to apply for such assistance.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Yeah. Madam Chair, for the information of our good Vice President, I'm not objecting to the program. I'm merely asking for the requirements so that if people would like to avail, they would know where to go and how to go about it. So, Madam Chair, my next question is on the educational assistance. Let's say if we have deserving and poor students and they have existing CHED scholarship, can they apply for additional educational assistance in such program?
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Vice President. Madam Chair, on the Kalusugan Food Truck Pansarap, does this also cover parts of the Visayas, or is it only limited to NCR?
President.
Yes, ma'am. I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
So, Madam Chair, my next question is on the Magnegosyo Taday, which is livelihood is actually part of economic upliftment. Are there parameters by where MSMEs can apply for this?
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide the proposal as presented.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. Madam Chair, in the government website, it says, as the second highest public office in the land, the Office of the Vice President shall work for the welfare of the Filipino people and contribute to nation building, economic development, and political stability by fostering fidelity to the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines and upholding the highest office, and that is the office of the President. May we hear the wisdom of the Vice President on this matter.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the rice food bags, considering that Iloilo and Western Visayas is a rice-producing province, can our farmers contribute to this rice program so that they will have an adequate market with the adequate price?
Madam Vice President.
Yes. Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. Madam Chair, the DPM in its proposed budget mentions that the mission of the Office of the Vice President is to promote economic development, political stability, and fostering fidelity to the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines and upholding the highest standard of professionalism in the civil service. It further says that in the sector outcome, promote political and socioeconomic development consistent with state policies and government priorities and thrusts. My question, Madam Chair, is the Honorable Vice President amenable to this, or do we need to amend portions of this?
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
So, Madam Chair, I do respect the contention of the Vice President. My last question is to the Honorable Chair. Yeah, as it was mentioned earlier, Madam Chair, I am not sure, but can you appraise us in the history of the Congress of the Philippines during budget briefings and deliberations? Has the Committee on Appropriations ever detained any resource person?
Never.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Maraming salamat po, Madam Vice President. Thank you very much.
Salamat. Next to interpolate is the Honorable Vice Chair Claudia Bautista. Finish first round first. Okay, so next is the Honorable Geraldine Roman.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Magandang gabi po sa ating lahat. Magandang gabi po sa ating Vice President. I just want to express a little bit of my disappointment and frustration kasi I really wanted to be enlightened regarding specific programs, in particular, those very, very creative programs, which is actually my favorite, yung Magnegosyo Taday, no? Which will benefit a lot of women, which is part of my advocacies, as well as the LGBT community. But I guess our Honorable Vice President will just give me the same answer. So let me just manifest my disappointment. Parang pumasok po ako sa meeting na to na may katanungan pero lalabas po ako ng kasagutan and even more questions. I feel compelled to express my deep sense of regret over the way our discussions have unfolded today. Sayang ang pagkakataon. This hearing was supposed to be a crucial forum for us to ensure that the public funds are allocated wisely and effectively, no? However, instead of gaining clarity and insights needed to make informed decisions, we find ourselves caught in a cycle of verbal disputes and personal attacks. And I'm just pointing at one side only, it may be both sides, possibly, and also formula answers, scripted answers, and even insinuations that we are following a script. Napakadali lang naman pong sumagot. Bakit kinakailangan pa nating hold us in doubt and keep us in the dark? So, given the lack of substantive answers provided us, I am left with concerns on how we, as members of the Congress, can make an informed decision regarding the budget of the Office of the Vice President and how we can follow our mandate if there is an apparent lack of cooperation. Because to say that there is an answer, which is not really an answer because it does not shed light, it does not give clarity, it does not address the specific concerns. We may question, in fact, certain issues of whether it is valid to discuss the confidential funds or not. But how about our questions? Katulad ng questions ni Representative Garin. Those are valid questions. I think dapat they merit also an answer. So hindi ko na po pagpapatuloy ang aking pagtatanong eh. Ano naman po ang magiging sagot? Sana po nagkaroon tayo ng clarity. That is my sincere wish talaga. Just clarity. Especially dun sa mga budget items ng 2025 na sa una ay willing naman ng Office of Vice President to answer and so graciously, no? Pilit kong inuunawa, baka naman physically exhausted ng ating resource person. I could hear that her voice is already namamaos, ano? But alam ko malakas naman siyang tao, malakas siyang babae with great resistance. So, nanghinayang po ako sa pagkakataon na ito. With that, Madam Chair, I leave it also to this committee. How to figure out, how can we come up with an informed decision with this kind of formula answer? Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Salamat. Next is the Honorable Jude Asidre.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, good evening, Madam Vice President. I will be asking questions about the 2025 budget. Given the same position of the Office of the Vice President, could the Honorable Vice President kindly enlighten this committee on how the proposed budget reflects the core mandate of the Office of the Vice President? We are sincerely eager to understand how these resources will be used to fulfill the critical responsibilities, particularly the constitutional mandate of the Vice President. Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 by question and answer. I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented. You can find all the answers in the audiovisual presentation, in our submission of documents to the Secretariat, in the PowerPoint presentation, and in the opening statement. I will leave it to the House to decide on the proposal.
Madam Chair, with the significant budget being requested by the Office of the Vice President, this committee is, I believe, keen to hear about the tangible successes by the OVP's programs thus far. Will this budget ensure that such commendable progress continues? I'm referring to the budget requested for 2025.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Madam Chair, I believe we are all familiar with the constitutional mandate of the Vice President, and that's why we'd want to know if the Honorable Vice President could clarify how the proposed budget allocation and the programs that it supports are aligned with this constitutional mandate of the Vice President. Because we're confident that the budget is a perfect reflection of the Vice President's priorities and the office's essential duties.
Madam Vice President.
Yes, Madam Chair, the answers are in the AVP presentation, the opening statement, the documents that we submitted to the Secretariat, and the PowerPoint presentation. I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, in the spirit of collaboration, could the Vice President also share how the OVP works with other agencies to avoid duplication and ensure the efficient use of public funds? We trust that the budget is also a reflection of such strategic coordination.
Vice President.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Madam Chair, considering the careful thought that must have gone into crafting the budget of the OVP, would the Vice President explain the rationale behind specific allocations? We are particularly interested in how these figures, especially the amounts, were arrived at, considering that the Vice President has a national mandate, and how it was computed so as to translate into meaningful outcomes for the public. Madam Chair.
Madam Vice President.
Yes, Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Madam Chair, the Honorable Vice President has repeatedly mentioned that she will forgo the right to personally defend the budget through a question and answer format. How should this committee interpret such a decision? Would it be fair to conclude, Madam Chair, that the programs under the OVP may not be as high a priority or as important as we had hoped for? Or should we interpret the response and the demeanor of the Vice President indicates that we, the elected representatives of the people, and the people that we represent do not deserve an explanation on how public funds would be spent by their office, Madam Chair?
Madam Vice President.
Yes, Madam Chair, all the answers are in the audiovisual presentation, the documents that we submitted to the committee secretariat, the opening statement and the PowerPoint presentation. I did not say forgo the right. I said forgo the opportunity to defend.
Thank you, Madam Vice President, because I think it's not our right to explain our budget. It's our duty to explain our budget. That's all, Madam Chair. And I will have to say, I leave it to the committee to consider the responses of our Honorable Vice President in the approval of the budget of the OB.
Salamat. Before we move to round 2, just a short manifestation on my part with a kind indulgence of my colleagues. Kanina po nabanggit ang pangalan ko kasama ni Kong Franz nung meron pong nagtanong kung bakit may 125 million para sa fourth quarter taong 2023 na hindi po ginamit ng ating pangalawang Pangulo. Nabanggit ang pangalan ko. I believe ang sinabi po ni Madam Vice President is that tila may lumalabas na po na pattern simula nung araw na nagsagutan po kami sa plenaryo na lumabas po na 11 days lamang ang period na kung saan ginamit po ang pondo amounting to 125 million. I just want to state for the record that that was in no way planned action on my part. That was the most difficult moment in my 5 years in Congress. Tinanong ako ng isang tanong, I just had to say the truth. Nakabase sa liquidation report at kitang-kita nyo naman doon po sa nakakita na po ng notice of disallowance na ginamit po siya from December 21 to 31 at pagbilangin po natin ang mga araw na yan mula 21 hanggang 31 ay indeed 11 days. So yun lang po. I just want to state that on record that on my part, simula nung moment na yon ay naging napakahirap ng buhay ko. No rational human being would ever want to plan her life that way. So there's absolutely no way that can be planned on my part, just for the record. And so with that, I move on to the second round. The Honorable Raul Manuel is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, kasi I started with questions on the DepEd confidential funds for 2023. Tingin ko, Madam Chair, if the resource person is proud of her accomplishments sa counterinsurgency tsaka anti-terror efforts, she should avail of this opportunity to explain na sana. Kasi di naman na siya kasama sa upcoming DepEd budget briefing. This will also set a bad precedent na kung nag-resign ka sa isang posisyon ay hindi ka na pwedeng matanong sa kung paano ka gumamit ng pondo na ikaw din naman yung nag-propose. Also, Madam Chair, yung DepEd confidential funds, that's in line with her role as NTFL co-vice chair kahit nga wala naman yung posisyon na yun sa EO70 of 2018, pero given na ganun ka aktibo ang vice-presidente sa ganung usapin. So Madam Chair, again gusto lang nating i-present na yung table natin kanina kasi doon natin mapapakita na meron ding lumilitaw na pattern gaya ng na-raise ni Congresswoman Sonsing dito naman sa DepEd confidential funds, may pattern din. So